Sorry, still playing with issues. I can't seem to get the stream to come up, no matter what I do. Wonder if that means I have to stop it and restart it, or just be patient. And nobody can appear to hear me. It says live, isn't live. Alright. Our opponent is going right upstairs. Nighthawk says we're back, that's a good sign, and there it is. So that was weird. Basically, for about a minute, a little over a minute, it said that we were live, but we weren't. The first thing I'm trying is turning off the face cam to see if that improves things, and so far, it's a bit better. At least it feels better to me. Let me know if it looks choppy to you, please. I appreciate your help. Alright, so we're going to harvest his organs. Our opponent has opened with red, red, blue, and they collective defianced us in the face. So here we go again. There's some face is the place mentality going on in the Duels community right now. At least today. And let's power up and gain some of that life back, basically invalidating the defiance, which is pretty... yeah. Going to the face isn't good when your opponent has something like a harvester. You probably want... I would recommend getting value out of your spell by killing a creature or cycling your hand. So that would be my recommendation in my opponent's seat. Now maybe they are playing an all face all the time deck and they don't care about the harvester. However, that will be a tough race for them to win. Because the problem with life-linking creatures is that cards like Harvester damage you while gaining life. So while you may be able to deal 26 damage to my face with all your burn spells, because your deck is all burn spells, and draw, the Harvester will still beat you down into the ground before you're able to get there. So do we care about Irradiant Flames? I really don't think I do. And actually, he's our opponent is blue and red, so they're either Kozilek's Return or Radiant Flames for sweeps. So I actually think I'll play an Enthusiast with counters on it, as that would survive those spells. There we go. I'll also play out this copter for future adventures. And let's boost up here. We don't have any other use for the energy in this deck. We don't run Glint Sleeve Siphoner or any other energy cards except, and I don't think, yeah, there are no Aether Hubs. So literally, we just want to use the Harvester as soon as possible. Why run Harvester at all? Because you have to stabilize against vehicles, and Harvester is one of the very, very, very best ways to do that. It's a good anti-vehicle card without screaming anti-vehicle card on it. And like somebody said to me recently, any competitive deck has to run copters and harvesters. So that we do. And here come the burn spells. Our opponent has decided it is time to go ham. Geist Blast to the face. Oath of Chandra to the 2/3, which is one of the disadvantages of playing the 2/3. Trinketer. I guess we can go super wide. Maybe our opponent, that's definitely a sign that they don't have a Radiant Flames. They could still draw it, but we can definitely just go super wide. I'm going to leave up double black. Ooh, excuse me. I'm going to leave up double black. This also lets me double crew the 2 vehicles I have on the battlefield by making 2 more servos, and then next turn, hopefully the Trinketer can just punch his face decisively. Nighthawk, I believe, thinks that there should be a GIF for this. The Nighthawk quote here is, "When you've fired 2 burn spells to the face and your opponent is on 21 life." Yep, not a good feeling. Oh, hello. Okay, I'm gonna just let push go. I don't think we'll need it. I think we can out-aggro whatever our opponent plays. I don't think there's a spell they could drop that would stabilize them. That Fatal Push could kill. Now, we can play this turn. Should I do that? And take him to 3. Nah, because we're one land away from, say he big Chandras, and he wipes our field. If we draw land off the top, we just win. We do that anyway with... No, we don't do that anyway with the vehicles. So yeah, we should hold in case we top deck the land. And obviously I don't mean making the ballista for 4 to win. I mean ballista to crew one of the creatures and then do damage. Okay, yeah. Wow. Alright. What does this card even do? Anybody know? What is this? Inner struggle. Target creature deals damage to itself equal to its power. Yeah, okay. I mean, obviously our opponent wasn't quite ready for the token theme. It's got all these very odd spells. Okay, then. I mean, we're not winning gold here. We have, we're gold capped, so I'm going to concede. I said I don't do this anymore, but I particularly feel like I should when I'm over gold cap, because then it just really feels like I'm keeping gold out of the hands of the players and in the hands of Wizards of the Coast. A company that I do think should have a certain amount of gold in its pocket, but the average player likely needs it more. Let's go find another. It'll be fantastic. We got Jace. Jace is in big... Actually, is this Jace anymore now that we have a Jace avatar that you can purchase? That's straight up Jace? So is this now like sleepless Jace? Because he's got red eyes. Jace with no sleep? I don't know. Just Pyth says, how do servos compare to Thopter decks? Thopters are going to have a few more anthems because they have 3 Chief of the Foundries, something I am not running here. That's got to be a thing. But we have better removal with Fatal Push, but that isn't great removal against Thopters unless they're hitting like turn 2 Smuggler's Copters. And we don't play sweepers, but we have Archangel Avacyn that can wreck Thopters, but it's just one of. It would be an interesting matchup. It's probably very draw dependent, to be honest. Probably very draw dependent. I don't know. I like kind of the weird synergies in this deck, and it's a bit more resilient to removal heavy strategies. Mostly because of this guy over here, the stockpile. Let's just get it online, by the way. I'd rather play ballista later in the game if I have the choice. Zombie Jace is a suggestion. Hanzo says Jace's grandpa. Yeah. Now, no clubbing to be done here. This is a 38. Who is this? I don't know this person, I don't think. Lamente Malvagia. Somebody from another country probably says that a lot better than I do. Darth Jace is another suggestion. Okay, I can see it. We got 2 blue, we got kitty cat sleeves, we've got a rank 38 minimum, so we should have a battle. We should duel. It should be epic. Now, what are you thinking? You're thinking Crane. Really thinking about that play, which makes me wonder what else one could have in hand. If it was a copter, you'd just play that. So maybe it was a vial, now he's got another vial. And I wonder if we're up against a Colossus deck. I haven't seen one of those. I haven't seen one of those in so long. Let's get enthusiastic. Next turn we can get our trinketer down, we can use an extra mana to use stockpile on enthusiast and turn it into a servo. See if we can put the pressure on whatever our opponent is doing. I'm sure that their late game is better than ours, so we have to grind them out in the... We don't really have an early game rush, but we basically have to go big enough in the mid game that we can get around whatever big threats they might want to play later. 3 straight islands. This might be a mono blue Colossus, perhaps. I played around with a deck on that idea. It was okay. didn't excite the heck out of me. But what else? What does that deck play? Probably plays Metallic Rebuke. Jace Vryn's Prodigy is going to be the move for our opponent. And hold back your Crane, I'm sure. That should open our lineup for next turn. Trinketer pumping the servos lets them both attack. We get in for 2. We could also charge in with the servos and try to convince Jace to block one of them, and then we can also and pick Jace for one. We can also double ballista Jace, which I don't think is important here. There's nothing in the graveyard. Our opponent's a long way from using Jace. They're also hanging out. They have something, and I'm guessing it's a ballista? I mean, what else could you do for 1 mana here? Oh, they're sitting on their attack. How pointless. Okay. Maybe they're trying to tilt me, or maybe they thought they had ended their turn and they did not. Or maybe they're lagged. Alright. Jace Ventura. Oh, that's some winning. So I still like my line for this turn. Ignore Jace, at least for now. And play Trinketer. We could still draw a Fatal Push, which would probably be better suited. The Declaration Stone, we may end up against like Copter tokens from Whirler Rogue, something like that, that would be much better suited for. I'm going to attack with this and see if he wants to block. I guess he could try to pick it off with the Crane, and that would be good. Alright. Nothing to be gained by sitting on it. And just try to get him to make a mistake. Alright. 2 damage for you. Sack you. Scry top. Do I want you? Don't you want me? You know that I can't bear it when you say that you won't see me. So top you get. Don't you want me? Aethersphere Harvester really wants to be here. Don't you want me, baby? Alright, 4 blue. Whirler Rogue? I'm guessing Whirler Rogue. There's gotta be some payoff to what's going on. No, Alchemist Vial. Okay. Maybe he's gonna hold up the Metallic Rebuke. Smells like it. Smells like him holding up a Metallic Rebuke. So that means we don't want to cast you. What can we do instead? We can make something. Yeah, I am guessing Salmon on improvised deck. And I'm guessing Metallic Rebuke, which would counter target spell unless I pay 3. So to get around that, we can definitely activate our Trinketer. We can use our stockpile. So there's no reason to play anything. And let's attack. The best way to play around counterspells is when you can do things on your turn that... Okay, pause. But the best way to play around counterspells is when you can do things with your turn that are better, that are just great on their own without casting anything. So he's going with Disperse. And that's fine. Let's see how he wants to play this now, if he's going to block with Jace. If he blocks with Jace, we can do this. Alright. So he gets some of the servos off the board. He takes 1. Now we'll go Ballista. And we'll pass turn, I guess? And he'll go to activate Jace. We can let him loot, then pick it, but I guess that's really obvious, and there's no reason to mess with the timing, because he could just pass priority. Oh, if mechanized production dropped, that would be exciting. That would make for a game, right? And we're gonna gain a servo. Okay, he discards another Disperse. You'd think he'd want that, but I guess it's not that great. It's 2 mana, kill a token, but he knows the Trinketer will be back, so he has to come up with a a way for dealing with that. And he has to come up with a way to deal with the ballista that's on the board. So what do you do, opponent? What is the... what's the payoff for your blue deck? I'm really starting to wonder what's going on. He likes dispersing. Jace is a pretty much obvious card to put in your blue deck. The Crane, there's obviously enough artifacts to run Crane, and he hit off it, and that's all we've seen. Esperzoa. It's an Esperzoa deck. Hey! Nifty! I don't remember the last time I played an Esperzoa deck. What do you do with an Esperzoa deck? I suppose you attack with your servos. Let's see how he wants to block. Okay, once again, not mechanized production, the improv card, Metallic Rebuke, is open. Still think there's a good chance of running into that. So if that's my contemplation, I can leave 3 mana open and deck in stone that Esperzoa. The thing I don't like with that play is he can probably do good things with that clue. I mean, he's got artifact synergies, you know? So am I supposed to just make a wider board with my stockpiles? Because I could cast a second stockpile, I could activate and use it, and then get 2 more servos. And then we could just go to town making a whole bunch of servos. In the meantime, his Esperzoa bounces his Alchemist Vial. He has to pay 2 mana a turn to draw an extra card. So that's value? Is it good value? I mean, it depends what else he can do. So, yeah, him paying 2 mana a turn to draw a card doesn't keep him up with the board. And actually makes it less likely that he can hold counter magic open. So I'm just going to play stockpile number 2. And we're going to just get wide, and we'll see if this is a bad idea or not eventually. Yeah, we'll keep you on top. You're a good card. And we'll use... So, am I supposed to play that here? Ooh. No. Am I supposed to go for it and just draw the Rebuke out? I think I'll wait another turn. See what our opponent wants to do. But if we make a big old board full of servos, and then play a trinketer when he taps out, he'll be in a lot of trouble. Like, so much trouble. And at this point, yeah, just about anything. We can do all kinds of things to trigger revolt with the deck. Okay, he's a tutelage deck. Is he going to tap out here? He is. Great. Love it. And that's going to shuffle. That is going to bin the Declaration Stone, but I'll live. Fatal Push and Stone Go. Ouch. Is he going to attack? He is not. Yeah, I didn't expect the tutelage either, Salmon, but that's what happens. You get blindsided. So now let's get tough. Deck you. Trinketer to the battlefield, please. A little bit of lag all of a sudden. Everybody in... except for Ballista? No, we'll attack with Ballista too. If he blocks it, we'll chip it at his head and we'll get 2 servos from triggering Revolt. Ballista's not doing too much that I can tell with this board. It's not like we're picking off Sky Spawners or Thopters. Not at this point. But this gives us kind of a free Revolt trigger if we can point it where we want to. Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you. Whew! Reverse Engineer is definitely a card that could be up our opponent's sleeve to go with that tutelage, which, you know, that sounds glorious on paper, doesn't it? But here's the wide board. Our biggest fear is a displacement wave. there's a scrounger for the graveyard. Sending probably my trinketer. There you go. In the moon it is. And there is a card our opponent did want. A thing in the ice. We're going to need to find an answer to that. So, should I scry? Our opponent's at 8 life. They have 2 blocks. So they can go to... We can power up the vent. If we draw another trinketer, they die. I know it's a long shot, there's only one more in the deck, but we could also draw anguished unmaking for the imprison. So I think we don't scry here. And we draw none of the above and draw something we would have scried to the bottom. Life of a hustler. Alright. What are we gonna do? This is a good time to get Harvester down. And we can also power up the vent. And we're definitely going to get to activate our... We definitely get to activate our revolt, because he's going to have to block. He could, I guess, block Crane. He could block Crane on vent. And he could block a thing on a servo. And then there's no revolt trigger. So we'll save this for post-combat, because we don't know if we're going to get to... And maybe we're not supposed to anyway. Maybe because of Displacement Wave, we're just supposed to leave up the mana to bring back the Scrap Heap Scrounger. So maybe that's not a good plan to play the Harvester. Alright. Turn them sideways, boys. And we are going to get the revolt trigger from this line. So, am I supposed to leave up? Am I supposed to drop the Harvester while his shields are down? Yeah, I think I am. Although that doesn't beat Displacement Wave, right? Yeah, that doesn't beat Displacement Wave. So, yeah, we'll just leave up Scroungy Scrounge. Which means we could have paid a mana to scry and sacrifice that servo token. So a small misstep there. We could have had a scry that we don't have. It would have gotten tuteleged away anyway, but we could have done something like left a colorless card on top of our deck to avoid getting double tuteleged. But as it turns out, doesn't look like that was relevant. Alright, you've got Zoe. So, yeah. Our opponent with an interesting blue deck. They're using tutelage, they're using artifacts, they're using Esperzoa, and it looks like they have Artificer's Epiphany to try to help them mill us out. But it doesn't look like the answer is there for this particular deck that we are playing, as going wide, our opponent didn't find a way to deal. And they have left the game. Oh, servos. How do we make so many servos? We had... Basically, the double stockpile did all the work. We had one weaponcraft enthusiast that we drew, and from there all these came from stockpiling. Smooth. Alright, let's go for the funsies kill to show why Archangel Avacyn makes the cut. You can sacrifice a creature after resolving your Avacyn, trigger the ability. Could have left that on top to avoid tutelaging. And then you can pass it over to the opponent and flip Archangel Avacyn. If they have a bounce spell, this is really bad, actually. But whatever. Oh, no. Not cool, bro. Let's see if I lose because of that. I was just trying to show off a neat interaction game. Jeez. AI, bringing it. Bringing the pain. Flip that thing in the ice, man. Come on. That was the way. That was the way. But instead it's Smuggler's Copter. You can't tell me you don't have more spells in your hand, AI. Come on, AI. Come on, AI. I don't think they can cast 2 spells off that. Brawl's expertise would have been the nuts. That is for sure, Salmon. That is for sure. Oh, we got clued. Boom. 2 more cards. Down the toilet. Crewing them copters like a pro. Sorry for prolonging this now. I really just wanted to show a cool way to flip your avacyn. Sweep your own board. That's all I wanted to do. Just wanted to do something really silly. Instead, here I am being Mr. BM. Alright, send him in. You want it, you got it. Alright. How many have we played there? It says I've only been online 26 minutes. We had that one game that had to reset. We can do one more with this deck. Hope you guys are enjoying a little bit of servo overrun action. And hopefully we can get another unique rank 30 and up type of deck and opponent, as those are always exciting to play. We have a guy who, in my brain, that's Abzan. I don't know why. Probably because that's what I do. Nighthawk just bought all the extras and now has 1k gold. Well, you better get grinding, homie. There's gonna be new cards before you know it. And you'll be like, I can't afford the whole set. No. So there we go. We'll see if this is, in fact, see that background I do Sultai, and the foreground I do Abzan. And our opponent is a rank 1, but they do have a 60 card deck. They do pick their backgrounds. Maybe they're just getting out to ladder now. I do not keep 5-land hands, even when one of them's like a Westvale Abbey. I do not keep hands like this. Nope. No, this one is not good either. Well, I guess we got... Is that not the same hand? Except now I don't even have the Westvale Abbey. Oh well. Here we go. Guess I should have kept my 5-lander. What can you do? I definitely don't go down to 5 on a 5-land hand. But let's see if we can work it out. Hey, what do you know? Another land. Let's see how many we draw. We just Evolving Wilds to thin our deck. Let's see if we draw the typical 2 to 4 lands off the top after thinning. That seems to very often be... It's just a dual staple. Like everybody I know who plays the game a lot is like, oh yeah, that's just the truth. That's just the way the world works. Alright, that is not a land. We can be happy. Let's get in there with Scrounger. I'm not going to play Selfless first because I would never sacrifice it to defend a Scrounger in a situation like this. Just doesn't make sense when you can get your Scrounger back later. I'd rather have the Selfless. Hanzo says we have 1 month and 10 or so days to get ready for the next set. Somebody keeps up their calendar. Right on. Tarver says, I love hidden stockpile. Yeah, there are some serious stockpile enthusiasts out there, Nighthawk being a big one. Our opponent has opened on land. And our opponent is showing, basically that they are probably a planeswalker deck. Am I supposed to expertise here? I don't think so. I think I'm better off getting in with the vent, because we could be walking into languish, which selfless cannot save you from that. But languish on just a scrounger and a selfless, that would be just fine. And I guess I have to see what happens here. I can protect my vent if I want to with the spirit. Let's just turn up the heat. This is a very... For being flooded, this board is actually very sweeper resilient. Which is good if our opponent is going to drop planeswalkers like nobody's business, or they're just going to bitter revelation and make our job of killing them easier. Oh my gosh, concession. I've got to keep playing this. What is going on? Archangel Avacyn hits the discard. What? What? What is happening? What has the whole... There's another land off the top. Yeah. What is happening? All right. Get the job done. Our opponent played 4 different colors of lands. Untapped, all untapped, mind you. Every land entered the battlefield untapped, and did nothing for 4 turns but cast Bitter Revelation. I mulled to 6. I kept Scrappy's Scrap Heap, Scrounger, and 5 lands. I've drawn 2 other lands since then. What the hell is in your hand? They're running a 4-color deck. What is going on? Okay. I want to mill this deck. Where's the tutelage when you need one? Merciless Resolve. As an additional cost, sacrifice a creature or land. So he pitches a swamp to draw 2 more cards. He discards an Outling Colossus. I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss. This is... Oh my lord. Okay. Alright. Some wins. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Well, that was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I somehow got a really weird satisfaction out of that. That is probably undeserved. So, alright. Anyway, that is gonna do it on the black-white stockpile deck. And, there's a deck list on the channel feed or in the description if you like that. And I think it's pretty good. I've done some work on it, and I think it's alright. And I've had some really fun games of just going wide. A lot of Westvale Abbey stuff, though we didn't see that today. I don't know. Tier 1, I don't know. But it's definitely something you have to think about. It reminds me of the Valor deck with more mid-game if you're disrupted. Anyway, I will drop that one for a minute. Let's find something else to play.